Okay, let's talk triangles and trapezoids. So in the last notes we took, we looked at parallelograms and how to find the area and perpendicular of those. In these notes, we'll talk about triangles and trapezoids. So a triangle is a shape with three sides. And the name triangle means three angles, so you could also think of it as a shape with three angles. A trapezoid is a quadrilateral, which means it has four sides with only one pair of parallel sides. So a parallelogram, which we saw in the 9.1 notes, has two pairs of parallel sides. So both pairs of opposite sides are parallel. A trapezoid just has one pair of parallel sides. And so here we have some pictures of different triangles and trapezoids, but you can see in the trapezoid pictures that the opposite sides here are parallel, but these sides are not parallel. So one pair of parallel sides. And those are the bases of the trapezoid, and that'll be important here in just a minute. So to talk about area, the formula for the area of a triangle is area equals 1/2 times base times height. I guess I don't need parentheses. 1/2 times base times height. Right, so, and just like we saw with the parallelograms, base and height are always perpendicular. So in the above picture here, if this is the base of the triangle, the height is the perpendicular distance from the base to the opposite angle. Any of these sides could be a base as long as you know that perpendicular distance to the opposite angle. For a right triangle, which is a triangle with a right angle in the corner, base and height are just those two sides that make the right angle. Now for a trapezoid, the formula is similar but a little different. So it is 1/2 times, and then here is where it gets different. We have to add up base 1 plus base 2 times height. So we have to add up the bases and then use it in our formula. So again, the bases are the two parallel sides. So in the above picture here, this is base 1, this is base 2, and the height is the perpendicular distance between them. And so the height is just the distance between those bases. And the bases are the parallel sides. So in the other trapezoid, the height would be this distance here, because this side happens to be perpendicular to those bases. Otherwise, it is the perpendicular distance between them. Okay, so 1/2 base times height for a triangle. In a trapezoid, 1/2 bases times height. So yeah, add them together and use it. But other than that, very similar formulas. So we'll do a few examples here. And we are going to find the area and perimeter just because why not? We know how to find perimeter. It's the distance around. So we'll go ahead and add that into our examples here. So for our first triangle, to find the area, well, we have to find the base and the height. And so we can see a perpendicular distance here. This is going to be our height. And this 14 then is our base because it is perpendicular to the height. So our area is going to be 1/2 times 7 times 14. And remember, you can multiply in any order. So doing this in your head, you want to do 1/2 times 14. That's 7 times 7. But we can do it on the calculator too. 0.5 times 7 times 14 should get 49, and we do. So the area here is 49 meters squared. Perimeter works the same way as before. Add up all the sides. So we have 11, 9, and 14. 11 plus 9 plus 14 is 34 meters. Let's go on to the next one. This is a right triangle, so we know that our base and height are the two perpendicular sides, 21 and 20. It doesn't really matter which one is the base and which one is the height, because we are just multiplying them together. So the area here is 1/2 times 20 times 21. Well, 1/2 times 20 is easy enough. That's 10. And 10 times 21 is 210. Now we're not given units on this triangle, so we can just say units squared. And for the perimeter, again, add up the three sides, 21, 20, and 29, and that is 70 units. Okay, now let's look at some trapezoids. A lot going on in this one, but remember the bases are the parallel sides, so that would be 10 and 15, and the height is the perpendicular distance between them, which would be 18. So our area is going to be 1/2 times 10 plus 15, which is 25, and then times 18. 1/2 bases times height. So 0.5 times 10 plus 15 is 25 times 18 gives us 225 inches squared for the area. And for our perimeter, we just want the outside length. So don't include the 18 here. We have 10, 23, 23, and 15. So 10 plus 15 plus 2 23s gives us 71 inches. Okay, one more trapezoid, not parallelogram. One more trapezoid example. Again, area equals the 1/2 times the bases. And in this case, here's our perpendicular line. So the bases here are 3 and 6. And the height is 3. And so that's 1/2 times 9. 3 plus 6 is 9 times 3. Gives us 20.25 inches squared. And for a perimeter, again, we want the outside edges. And this time it includes the height because the height happened to be one of the edges. So 3, 3, 6, and 4. Well, that's 12 plus 4 is 16 inches. Okay, so there's some quick examples there. Triangle, 1/2 base times height. Trapezoid, 1/2 bases times height. Add the bases together. And remember, the height is always the perpendicular distance from the base. So in a triangle, it's the distance between the base and the opposite point, or the corner that the side isn't touching. Because it is possible to have a triangle like this, where the height is this outside distance. But still, it's the distance between the base and the opposing corner. And then for a trapezoid, add the bases multiplied by the height, which again is the perpendicular distance between them, times 1/2.